High volatility slots the games that can make or break you fast. Most players fear them. Some chase them, but few understand them. The truth is, volatility isn't danger, it's opportunity, if you know how to play it smart. Let's start with the basics most people skip over. Volatility isn't just a fancy word casinos throw around, it's the DNA of every slot. It determines how often the game pays and how big those wins are when they finally hit. Low volatility games drip feed small wins regularly, like giving you a candy every spin, so you stay hooked. High volatility games, on the other hand, are like a drought followed by a thunderstorm. You'll spin and spin with nothing, but when that storm finally breaks, the payout can be massive, sometimes life-changing. That's why they're dangerous, and also why they're exciting. The biggest mistake players make is thinking volatility equals luck. It doesn't. Volatility is math cold, calculated, and predictable over time. The issue is that most players don't spin long enough for that math to balance out. High volatility slots demand patience. A 96% RTP doesn't mean profit in 20 or 50 spins. It's stretched across millions. Casual players often quit early, claiming it's rigged, while smart players wait for the storm to hit. The key isn't to hope for a big win, it's to structure your play around volatility. Think of it like investing. You don't go all in on one risky bet, you diversify. Mix low volatility slots to maintain your bankroll, and tap into high volatility ones when you've built a cushion. That balance lets you survive dry spells and still catch the thunder. Timing matters too, not the casino's, yours. High volatility requires emotional discipline. If you tilt easily or chase losses, these games will drain you fast. Play like a machine. Set strict limits, define your stop loss, and walk away when you're ahead. The challenge isn't spinning, it's stopping when the slot starts teasing. That's where most players lose control. Now, let's talk about what separates the regular players from those who actually beat volatility data. Professional players track everything. They note down the games, session length, bet sizes, number of dead spins, and when the bonuses hit. Over time, that data shows patterns, not guaranteed results, but tendencies. For example, you might notice that a certain slot tends to drop bonuses after 150 spins. That doesn't mean it's rigged to do so, but it gives you a realistic range to plan around. Data turns volatility into something you can work with instead of fear. One of the biggest myths floating around is that high volatility games are pure gambling, that there's no strategy. That's wrong. The strategy is endurance. Take pragmatic plays, Gates of Olympus, or Sugar Rush. These are classic high volatility titles that can go 100 spins dry, then explode with a 500x win. The average player burns out before the pop. Smart players lower their bets, extend their playtime, and increase their chances of being there when it happens. It's not about hitting it big on one spin, it's about surviving long enough for the odds to correct themselves. Let's put it this way. If you're betting $1 per spin on a high volatility game with a 96% RTP, and you do 200 spins, you might lose $60 or $70 before the first major win. But if that one bonus pays 400x, you've not only recovered your losses, but doubled your bankroll. The problem is that most people never reach that point because they're impatient. They want fireworks instantly. However, volatility rewards patience and punishes emotion. Another pro move is bankroll scaling. Instead of betting a flat rate across all games, experienced players use variable betting. They might start at the minimum for 100 spins, then slightly increase once they sense the slot entering a payout phase. It's not magic, it's observation. Some call it feeling the slot. The truth is, these games often follow sequences of low and high activity. Learning to read them by watching hit frequencies, dead spin streaks, and bonus teases can turn that feeling into a tactical edge. High volatility also pairs beautifully with casino bonuses, but only if you use them right. Free spins or match deposits give you extra breathing room. Think of them as extra ammo to survive the dry phase before the big hit, but don't waste them on low volatility games. Those are designed to pay small, safe wins, which means you're burning through your free money without ever reaching the jackpot range. Bonuses belong in the danger zone, the high volatility category, where you need more spins to unlock the game's full potential. Of course, there's still risk. You could play 300 spins, hit nothing, and walk away broke. That's part of the game. But when you approach high volatility with structure, patience, and bankroll control, you turn that chaos into something close to strategy. You stop gambling and start managing variance. You're no longer hoping for luck, you're giving yourself enough time and leverage to let the math play out in your favor. So here's the truth. High volatility will never be for everyone. It's for players who can think long-term, control emotion, and accept that profit doesn't come instantly. It's for those who see beyond the spin, who understand that behind every drought is a storm waiting to break. And when it finally does, that's when patience turns into profit. That's when all the dry spins, the near misses, the heartbreaks suddenly make sense. Because volatility doesn't reward everyone, it rewards those who wait for it.